guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
Don't trust the guard either. He's an accomplice as well. Now then, I'll tell you detailed steps to take. You must save him.
You want me to...
Huh?
What is it?
Nothing. Anyway...
Did anyone else stop? Nobody?
There'd be no reason for anyone else to come down here.
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So it's all true.
Of course it's true. Is something the matter?
It's Akechi-kun. He had to take a sudden call, so he won't be able to make it down today.
Huh?
I've been asked to handle...
You?
You know, if you stay here, they'll likely get rid of you to eliminate any evidence. I suggest you go into hiding at once if you value your life.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't say a word of what transpired here. Trust nobody.
And now we return to our continued report. This morning, the police have announced that they've detained a suspect who may in fact be the leader of the Phantom Thieves group. The suspect is reported to be a young
Anchon,
man who's...
can I get you to look over here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he got caught. That group sure was something.
Yeah.
So the next shoot got me thinking. How about we have you do an idol thing, you know? That cool?
What a surprise to think that the one behind all this is just a minor.
But considering how quickly they announced his arrest, the police must surely be confident in the outcome of this case.
Well, I'll be! Goodness, look at you now! It's been a while, Ryuji.
Huh?
You stopped visiting so abruptly, everyone was worried about you. It's your second year, right? Are you still doing track and field? I'd love to see you run again.
Also, the young man continues to remain silent, refusing to implicate any potential accomplices. However, considering the number of charges brought against him...
I wonder if something happened.
Yeah.
You seemed stumped for once. Not feeling it today?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not chiding you. Just do as normal at your own pace. With your skills, there's no need to worry about your future.
Normal. Right.
He's just a high school student. How do you think he was contacting the others?
The police here can search any online communications. His accomplices may slip up eventually.
Still, it seems the Phantom Thieves' most recent targets have gone comatose. Actual harm has been done here.
Given the lack of physical violence, their method is still a mystery. Regardless, the police are looking into attempted murder charges.
You never turned it in? That's quite the surprise. I thought I lost it this whole time.
I'm sorry.
Well, your grades are excellent. And you're student council president. I'm sure you'll be admitted anywhere you apply. That one Phantom Thief should have followed your example. You hear? It seems he was caught. Some high schooler. I wonder why he turned to a life of crime.
We also received information that the young man was placed on probation for assault.
Because of his previous record, he had to leave his hometown. Perhaps his motive lies there.
I believe your father can rest in peace now. That Phantom Thief could never have changed anything. Only a handful of people are qualified to alter the world. So you've been coming home late. That's what I've heard. I make a good playmate, you know.
We have breaking news. The young man being held in custody has committed suicide. The police have confirmed his death, although details have not been released. To repeat, the suspect has committed suicide while in
custody. This station will continue to report any further updates as they arrive.
It may be difficult to uncover his methods now. Perhaps that's why he decided to take this course of action.
It can't be.
You're shitting me. We got him.
It would seem as though you have been killed. But why were you killed? Why did you have to? Do you remember? It seems you forgot an important fact while your consciousness... Indeed, your death was a necessity for your escape from Cert. What a tremendous plan. How might you be capable of... Well then, let...
Hey, they're... You realized it... It was our conversation about pancakes, right? There's no way he could have reacted like that if he hadn't heard me. My thoughts exactly. It was your social studies trip. We met him in the hallway of that TV station. There's no way that this is the first time he's heard my voice. This whole deal feels sketchy. Yeah, that was my plan too. Okay, let's get everyone on the same page right away. One more person has been on our mind. If it's possible, I want to eavesdrop on their phone conversation. That'll be tough. I agree.
I'd have to plant a bug directly on the phone.
So it's impossible. I didn't say it was impossible. That's perfect. An incredible one.
This is gonna...
I see. So we're going to use this place.
It'll be a gamble. I think it's gonna work. You can't tell a thing.
It seems you finally remember. This game is not over yet. There are still things that must be...
You all don't fall asleep until we reach our desk. Are you listening?
Are you listening?
You weren't paying attention? Well, I guess I... Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation.
Futaba's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. He did indeed have an ulterior motive.
It's on a completely different level than...
Not only was he trying to frame us, but he was the true culprit behind the mental shutdowns. His offer to assist us was simply a ploy to frame the Phantom Thieves and kill him. If we go into Sis's palace as he suggests, we'll likely be met by a large ambush of police forces.
To think he would be this far gone. I know now what it means to feel a chill down. Furthermore, he wishes to bring a police squad from reality into the palace.
If the 8 of us can enter at once, it's not inconceivable to think a larger group is possible. He may even be able to bring in vehicles or other special pieces of equipment.
So, this really was just a setup to shift the blame onto...
He made us go after Okumura. Then once we triggered the change of heart, he killed him.
And he told us he had seen the true culprit, but it was him the entire time!
The whole time he was working with Makoto's sister, he was really just some homicidal maniac. Come on, we gotta take that bastard Akechi down. Isn't that recording we got enough proof to do it?
No. Akechi is merely a tool. His orders come from elsewhere. The grand mastermind behind this all. An unimaginable fiend capable of arranging the murder of a suspect inside of a police station.
Unless we find out who that is, we will
But what means do we have of learning his identity?
We'll have to make Akechi say it.
I think that will be the case eventually, Rook. The only reason it hasn't happened yet is because we're an easy target to blame. If he realizes that's no longer possible and abandons that plan, he may...
Damn it! So we don't got a choice but to go with...
But if we go into the palace like we're told, he'll get arrested, and then Akechi...
Palace? The palace?
Actually, there's something...
Aha! We can use the palace to our advantage!
What's this?
There's a way to get past Akechi and get the mastermind to lay off of us, all while learning his identity.
Really?
You gotta be...
If he wants to kill the guy, why not let him? That is, inside of a palace.
Yes. We could have him kill the cognitive version, all the while believing he killed the real one.
Yeah, that's it!
It seems that's our only option. Listen close, everyone. I have a plan for how we can carry this operation out.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However, the police intend on continuing this investigation until...
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell them to come on down. I'm gonna fetch him.
You're...
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective...
Look...
Hey, you big bastard!
How have you been? You're not floating.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off? Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell Boss what...
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the metaverse.
Hold on a sec. Enemy? Fake?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit? I see. So you guys were going up against someone else.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made one fatal mistake.
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
That wasn't something we could simply bring up. We couldn't have you suspect Akechi. Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit. In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff. So what was this mistake Akechi made? What did he do?
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
You mean a cat?
Yes, Morgana can talk.
Sorry. Was that supposed to be a joke?
Oh, our apologies. You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as well?
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality. It's a change in cognition, most likely.
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
When we talked to Akechi at the school festival, he was acting like he just realized Mona could talk. But we already saw him drop a mega hint about it way earlier.
Oh, I know a place! I want to go to that huge pancake-looking place we passed on the way here!
Oh, am I mistaken? I thought I heard something about delicious pancakes.
Mona was the only one who was talking about a pancake. That meant Akechi'd already been in the metaverse by then.
And since he was lying to us about that, we assumed he had a hidden motive behind contacting us.
It seemed odd upon further thought. His reaction to my pancake comment was an honest one, after all. That said, we weren't so naive to overlook something like that. That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone. I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app. My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly. Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great...
That was just an app! After a few days of listening, this confirmed his betrayal.
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves in the act. That would be the only way to arrest them, given their methods. I'll deal with them after that. Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and committed suicide during his imprisonment. How about that? Public security questioning will occur on the first day. And with that room, my task will be simple.
Is this for real?
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So they plan to get...
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the arrest, and thus, the dangerous criminal responsible for the mass mental shutdowns shall end his own life. When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan from evil. As will I, of course.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think...
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental shutdown crash.
On top of that, there's someone else commanding it, someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination. That's why we had to... We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leaders fake, but
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we need.
What condition?
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing. You totally can't tell the difference if they're...
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to...
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand. Yeah, it's...
Makoto is no...
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi, but I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, sis. The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves was...
My own achievements were all that mattered to me. I was desperate. I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of them.
We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation.
And regarding its location, I take it you used the data from my laptop?
I'm sorry. There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse. First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room. Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace proper were the same as in the real world.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
There was also one more thing a perfect cognitive replica of him in the metaverse's interrogation room.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Once we saw the casino guests and police, they looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping...
Everything went as planned up until we defeated Sis's shadow. However, it was then that we were... As a result, even though we managed to grab the treasure, we could... Except that was all an act. We had prepared an empty briefcase beforehand, and merely acted like we were taking the treasure. This was because we knew the police would be coming for us.
We made sure before the operation that the police would be waiting to... And just as expected...
Him getting captured by the police went
And I had been interrogating him with no knowledge of this. But how did you lure Akechi into this cognitive...
All I needed were the coordinates.
Akechi disposed of the fake in the palace and left thinking he had been victorious. It must have been truly hilarious for our leader who sat idly in the real world's interrogation room. Surely he was acting quite cocky by himself in that quiet chamber.
So that's why you gave me your phone. I only took it because of what you told me.
It's a shame I didn't have the opportunity to see that for myself.
All I could do was try to handle all the messages that started coming to me on his phone. So in other words, I've been to the metaverse, albeit for a brief moment.
In our experience, there is little danger when someone enters their own palace for so short a time.
That's the other reason we had him give it to you. We needed you to listen to Alibaba, deceive the guard, and ultimately aid in his... By having you head back to the interrogation room, we could return you to the real world as...
I mean, I had to think of some way to keep you from running into Akechi mid-assassination.
Astounding. I hadn't the slightest idea that such a grand operation...
I'm so glad he was able to persuade you during... Even though we knew Akechi's plan, we were...
Without Sis on our side, Futaba's plan and subsequent breakout would have never been possible. That persuasion was easily our greatest gamble. We couldn't consult Sis beforehand. It was absolutely the make-or-break moment of the...
Still, I'm surprised you could convince me in such a short time. Were you confident you could do it? I see. Either way, I can't believe you went for some...
If we could just tell you the true culprit's plan, I knew you'd realize that our leader was telling the truth.
As a result, we emerged
Then the reason you kept this a secret from me was so you could catch the true...
Yes. Plus, you had lost control of yourself at...
This is stunning.
I've kind of figured out that you guys made Akechi kill a fake, but what did you do about the body?
The police never even checked it.
Huh?
They had a coroner working to ensure his death was reported as a suicide. That coroner didn't take one look at the scene and just passed along a falsified death certificate.
The bad guys have that much in...
Murder in a police station would be reckless otherwise. We also...
Thanks to Futaba-chan's messages and the guard's demeanor, I eventually came... And since the higher-ups at the police knew nothing of this, they were thrown into disarray. As a result, his suicide during imprisonment was reported on the news.
And with that confusion, he was able to escape with Nijima-san.
I made sure nobody would check the morgue for his body, and thanks to that, nobody knows he survived.
Thinking back to the interrogation, though, I can't believe what they did to him. The callous use of violence, and even drugs. If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, he would have died. I'm truly glad.
I almost became one of your assailants as well.
It still freaked me out when I saw this.
We made sure to, even with that.
Well, I wanted to believe, but considering what...
Ryuji's a bit on the dense.